Hello, hello, hello. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Urban Health Outreach Media, the Finding Your Will to Survive show. I'm your host, Raynaldo Alexander. How's it going? Hopefully, everybody's having a super fantastic week. What's going on, everybody? How's it going? Finding your will to survive. Finding your will to survive. Like, share, like, and share, like, and share. And if something said, I want to ask you to hashtag it and like and share. Start a watch party if you will. Again, I'm Raynaldo Alexander. This is the Finding Your Will to Survive show. And I'm your host. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Now y'all wondering, you like this setup, huh? Got my booster cables, heavy duty booster cables. And it's my what's the word I'm looking for? The objective of this show today is to energize you, to supercharge you, to ignite something in you, to give you that extra boost. Life can take a toll on you. Life can take a toll on you. Today's topic is I have had enough. I've had enough. You ever been there? You ever thought that? I've had enough. Just the circumstances of life itself will beat you down. Circumstances will beat you down. One thing after another, one thing after another. The mountains that we're climbing, we choose to climb, we involuntarily have to climb. The things that we're faced with, it will wear us down. Frustrations will literally burn us out. I'm talking about life. Just having a real life talk session with you. Life can get the best of you. You ever been there? Life can get I'm talking about disappointments. Disappointment after disappointment. Man, just hard times after hard time. One thing after another. In spite of your best effort. In spite of your best effort. We've all heard that saying, as soon as I make one step forward, I'm knocked back two steps. Take a step forward, I'm knocked back a couple of steps. And after a while, you just get tired. After a while, you know, you'll just throw your hands up and say, you know what? I have had enough. Literally, I've had enough. Not had enough as in eating. You can eat some good food and stuff yourself, get full, and you can, feel like I'm stuffed, man. I've had enough. But I'm referring to when it's one thing after another. Especially dealing with a chronic kidney disease, maybe dialysis or preparing to go on dialysis. Every day is different. Every day is a different fight, and you're giving it everything you have. But at the end of the day, that's one day completed. That's one fight. That's a multitude of many fights. But the next day roll around, and you literally want to pull the pillow over your head, pull the covers over your head, keep the lights out, keep the door closed, and not talk to anyone because the routine is the same. You give your best effort, but after a while, you simply get tired. Surgery after surgery, you get tired sometimes. Being poked, pricked over and over and over. Lord knows if they do a bad stick or infiltrate your fistula or something. One thing after another, maybe getting up, constantly fussing and fighting with somebody, just being frustrated, going to work, dealing with maybe some ungodly rude boss or coworkers or just whatever the issue is, one thing after another. Sometimes you get tired and you simply throw your hands up and say, you know what? I've had enough. And I've been there. I've been there. But when you get to that point at which you feel like you've had enough, so many things takes place. So many things take place. At the moment you make up in your mind and you determine within yourself that I have had enough, it's that moment that you quit. You quit. You quit on yourself. You'll quit on life, and you'll quit on all of the people that's following you. I've had enough. It's easy to get to that mindset. We often heard the old saying, bad things happen to good people. After all, when you know that you're a good person and you're trying to figure it out, how is it that I've been selected to carry the weight of the burden that I'm carrying? How is it that I've been selected? What made me so bad that I had to be the one that's chosen? No, it's not what made you so bad. I want you to know it's what made you so good, that you were created strong and you were created in greatness. And yes, we were selected. Our lives were pre-selected. We don't have a choice in the cards or the hand that we're dealt, but we're solely responsible of how we play the hand. I have had enough. If you've said that possibly today, I've said it many times. I'm here to tell you, I've said it many times. But if you just so happen to have been like me and you found yourself saying it or getting to the mindset to where, you know what, I've had enough. I want you to know something. You're not a bad person because you've gotten there. It doesn't make you a person of lesser faith. It doesn't make you a person of lesser strength. It doesn't make you weak. You know what it makes you? It simply makes you human. It simply makes you human because we get tired of the roller coasters of life. We simply get tired. And when we feel like we've had enough, man, that's it. We'll be willing to throw in the towel. But you know what happens when you throw in the towel? Especially if you was like me. I was one of the ones growing up. I want to be great. I want to be mighty. I want to be strong. I want my territory enlarged. And then when the obstacles of life come and they keep coming and they keep coming and they keep coming and they keep coming and they keep coming, and I felt like I had enough, what do I want? What did I do? I wanted to throw in the towel. But as many times as I throw in the towel, guess what happened? The towel was thrown back at me. I throw in the towel, thrown back at me. Throw in the towel, throwing back. Wait a minute. I thought you said you wanted to be great. I thought you said you wanted to be mighty and you wanted to be strong, that you wanted to be an inspiration to the world. I thought you said that. Here, catch this towel. Go through something else, you throw in the towel again. You want to give up. It's not as if you can't go through it. But sometimes you get to the place that you just choose not to want to go through it. I have had enough. Frustrated with life, frustrated with circumstances. The mountain's too high. The burden is too heavy. The weight is too great. I have had enough. You ever been there? I have had enough. The crazy thing about it is, once we get to that point that we perceive that we've had enough, guess what? It becomes a dangerous place. It becomes a stagnated place. What is stagnated? Stagnated can be defined as not flowing or simply not advancing. All right? Being stagnated, being still, as if water in a mud puddle or water sitting in a bucket, not moving, not flowing, just sitting, stagnated, become what? Disease infected. Flies and gnats and all of this stuff have the opportunity to come and lay eggs. And that is the ground. If we choose to stay there, if you choose to stay there, that becomes the ground in which we become productive and producing. So guess what? We move from a place of being positive into a place of being negative. I have had enough. I'm tired of it. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired of being hoodwinked. I'm tired of being stabbed in the back. I'm tired of waking up feeling low, feeling tired. I'm tired of being down. I'm tired of being misjudged. Have I knocked on your door yet? I'm simply tired. I'm tired of arguing with people that have no idea of what it is I'm going through. I'm simply tired. I have had enough. So the same function without the same energy is the place that we become. So when we reach that point of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, and we throw up our hands and say, I've had enough, guess what? We still have the same obligations. You still have the same obligation. Fathers, you still got to be a father. Husbands, you still have to be a husband. Women, you still have to be mothers and wives and aunties and men, uncles, and we still hold titles. If you hold titles and you carry out functions, there's teachers and all type of people with different type of functions. You still obligated to handle your responsibilities. And guess what? The responsibilities, they continue forward, but we do it without the same drive. We do it without the same energy. We do it without the same zeal. We do it in a stagnated place where we become ineffective. We go through the motion. I've been there. Have you ever been there? Where you're just tired you're unproductive. You're just tired of going through the things you're going through. You've thrown up your hand. Even if you've not verbally said it, you've said it within your mind. You've said it within your heart. Because guess what? There becomes a difference in your movement. You don't move with the same finesse. You don't speak with the same authority or with the same zeal. You don't operate the same. And it becomes noticeable. And although we're still carrying on the same function, we're carrying on the same function without the same energy, going through the motion. And that becomes the place where people tend to misjudge, because after all, you didn't ask for the trials that you have faced. I never would have picked 5 years of dialysis. I never would have picked being walked out on after almost 10 years of marriage. I never would have picked, I never would have selected depression. I never would have selected it. Just like you. You're probably going through something where if you had your choice, you probably would not have selected it. Now that I think about it, I wouldn't have changed nothing for the world, because it's done something so much. It's produced something great. It's ignited something awesome, and it's launched something purposeful. I would not have selected it though. I have had enough. This is why I hooked up to the booster cables. I have some heavy duty 18-wheeler booster cables. And I want to show this as an example that sometimes when you've reached that point, sometimes when you've made your mind up that you've had enough, it takes you to be connected and plugged in to somebody with some energy, with a power source. I have these hooked up to me, and I'm envisioning with my mind, I'm envisioning right now that the other end is being hooked up to you. The other end is being connected to you. And if you felt like that, if you're feeling like that, then you're starting to feel revived and recharged, because you're beginning to understand that it's life and it's normal. But you don't have to stay there. It's okay to feel like you've had enough. It's okay. But it's not okay to stay there. It's okay to be tired. It's okay. But it's not okay to stay there. It's okay to want to feel like you want to give up. But it's not okay to stay there. It's okay to be knocked down and you stay there for a few seconds. But it's not okay to stay there until the 10 count. You got to get up. You got to find that connection. You got to find that source, and you have to draw from it. Draw that energy. Draw that inspiration. Draw that motivation. You're in survival mode. When you're in survival mode, it's anything goes. Because at the end of the day, you have to do what you have to do in order for you to survive. It doesn't matter. Preparation for a fight. You have to have coaching. You have to have training. And ultimately, the fighter has to go out and execute. So what am I saying? I'm saying after all of the inspiration, after all of the motivation, after all of the words of encouragement, after all of the training, after all of the tutorials, after all of it, at the end of the day, it's up to me to execute. It's up to you to execute. It's up to you to face your battle and to face your dilemma and to get up and to change that mindset and not let that mindset of you've had enough marinate and fight find a way. If a wall is being set up, find a way to knock down the wall. If the door is closed in your face, find a way to kick down the door. It's up to us to execute and to move and to not be stagnated. Regardless. I know it hurts. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult and it's challenging. I know it. I know you've cried. I know it. I know you've locked up and shut up in the room. I know you pulled out the ice cream and just indulged in it as a way of just getting away from everybody and falling back on the things that you don't do. I know you've made bad decisions through your pain and through your hurt. I know it. But you can't stay there. You can't allow yourself to become a victim of yourself. You can't allow yourself to become a victim of yourself. Because kidney dialysis, you're not a victim of it. It's a victim of you. Because when the world looks at it, they're going to think that you're going to fall out the race and you're going to give up. But you're not. It's a victim of you. Your tenacity will overcome it. Your spirit will overcome it. Your tenacity will overcome the challenges that you're facing. But when you become a victim of yourself, it means that your own will, your own mind, you've fallen victim to it. And you've decided, you've made a conscious decision not to fight. You made a conscious decision to lay down and to quit and to give up. You become a victim of yourself. I was a victim of myself. That's why I can say it. I was a victim of myself. I wanted to lay down and quit. And if the truth be told, physically and mentally, I did. But there's something on the inside of you that won't allow you. It won't allow you to stay still. It won't allow you to stay parked. It won't allow you to stay put. Life is just like an automatic transmission. I want you to visualize this. And if you're from the East Coast, like a couple of my buddies that I had in the Marine Corps, I took for granted that everybody was like myself growing up in the country. Around 15, everybody's driving. 15, every teen is in somebody's ride. They're driving. They know how to drive without the license, you know. But they were from New York. And I didn't know that they couldn't drive. We was in a situation where we needed them to drive, and they couldn't drive. They were grown men. They weren't familiar with the gear pattern or the transmission pattern because they had taken the subway all their lives. So if you're not familiar with it, I'll tell you. I'll run it down till y'all break it down. So on the automatic gear shift, there's PRND. P is for park, the R is for reverse, the N is for neutral, and the D is for drive. And after drive, you may have a 2 or 1, which you can kick it down and low if you're pulling some or, you need that extra drive, okay? So this is how life is. And I found myself being that place. You can get hit so hard with something. Circumstances can come at you in every different direction. And you can get hit so hard. Things could be so horrific in your life that you literally come to a standstill. You refuse to move. You refuse to share. You refuse to be an inspiration or motivation, and you stop. And that's what it is when you're in park. You're not moving. You're just there. You're still. You're not moving. And we find ourselves in life sometimes being in park, and we think we're moving, but we're not moving. We think we're being productive, but we're not. We're in park. We're in a stagnated place. We're being still. We're going through the formalities. We're going through the motions. You're still carrying on duties, but you're not carrying it on effective. You're not carrying on with the zeal and the tenacity that you have, the way you were created to inspire, to create imaginative imagination, creative imaginations in the minds of people. We're not, when we're in park, we're not operating from that perspective, but we're just there. We in drive. And sometimes when you find yourself in drive, you're just there. After you've been hit hard, I was there. I put myself in drive. 5 years of dialysis, I put myself in drive. Walked on, I put myself in drive. Lost everything in a house fire. I put myself in drive. I didn't want to move. I didn't want to be productive. I didn't want to be around people. I was still and I was dying from the inside out. And that's the danger of being in park. Being in park is dangerous. But after park, there's R, reverse. This is when you have to back up sometime and reevaluate everything you've gone through. You have to reevaluate everything that's been thrown at you. And you have to start to find some positive out of a bad situation. Being hooked up on dialysis, I had to find some positive. I had to find something positive in it. I can remember getting off a machine, even when I was in a depressed state. And there were people on the side of me to the left and right that wanted to give up themselves. And I found myself encouraging them to live. Even when I needed the encouragement myself, I became the booster cables for their life. Sometimes you have to find positive in bad situations because bad things do happen to good people. That's when you're in that reverse mode. You have to pull yourself back and reevaluate. You have to think of a plan. You have to think about how you've fallen. Think about how you've hurt. Think about how you've responded. You have to think about how you respond right now. And you have to come up with an alternate plan. This is neutral. When you're there, you're in the same place. You hadn't moved yet, but your mindset has changed. Your mindset has changed. You're in the same place. You need help, but guess what? Your mindset is different. You need encouragement, but your mindset is different. You hadn't moved yet, but your perspective has changed. You had to reevaluate so you can come back with a new pre-plan. This is neutral. And you know what? I don't know how long neutral will be. Who knows how long you will be in that place? Who knows how long you'll be standing still? Who knows how long? I don't know. I can't tell you how long. But I can tell you this, that if you reevaluate everything, if you extract positive out what appears to be a bad situation, I can tell you that when you pull down and drive, that great things will happen. I can tell you that when you go into drive, and you start to move forward, you'll move forward with power. You will move forward with authority. You will move forward being an inspiration to people all around the world. You can go. D stands for drive. It's time for you to live again. It's time for you to smile again. In spite of, yes, I know it's hard. Yes, I know it hurt, but it's time. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve to smile. You deserve to live in prosperity. You deserve to be strong and mighty. Even in a hard situation, it's time for you to live. It's time for you to laugh. It's time for you to go out and be that beacon of light that the world is waiting on. It's time for you to be that monumental stone that people are waiting to lean on. It's okay to cry, but after you dry your tears, after you've dried your tears, you come back strong. After you've been knocked down on the mat of life, you get back up. You get back up ready to fight. You get back up like Rocket. Play that song, Eye of the Tiger. Doom, 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 doom. I'm telling you, I get crunk right now if I hear it. Play it. Let it play mentally in your mind. Find the encouragement to come back strong. Find the encouragement to come back with everything in you. Because it's in you. You can smile again. In spite of everything that you've experienced, you can smile again. You can live and be productive. You can do it. There's a story of a man that had the finest muscle car known to man. I'm talking about nice. '68 Firebird. He crashed it. He had the finest paint job on it, the nicest wheel and tires. It was immaculate, and it was a wonder to see with your physical eye. Let me tell you, he crashed it, towed the car out, complete loss. People was like, "Oh, I can't believe you totaled that car out. I can't believe, man, it's gone, it's total. It's in the it got towed to the wrecking yard." The guy went to the wrecking yard and wanted access to the car again. The man that oversaw the wrecking yard, he said, "I don't understand. This car was one of the finest cars around, but it's completely total and it has no value." The man said, "What you don't understand is, yes, it was a great car. Yes, it was immaculate and it was pleasing to the eye. But what you don't understand is the body. The body may be wrecked. The body may be destroyed. The body may be bent and torn to pieces. But the motor is still good." And that's what I want to tell you today. Circumstances of life might have beat you up, might have completely, seemingly totaled you out. But when the body is beat up, the motor is still good. Your heart is as strong as organ as anything in you. Your mind, your will to survive. These are the things that make you strong. Even if your body is physically weak, your mind can be strong and you can be productive and you can be an inspiration to people all over the world. Even if you're utilizing your nights to cry, you still can wake up with a new mindset. Weeping may endure at night, but joy cometh in the morning. You can experience morning time and still be in dark situations because the morning exists at 12:01. At 12:01 a.m. it's still dark. You can be living in your morning time, but still be in a bad situation. But if you just hold on, if you just keep going, there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's light just up ahead. You are in your morning time. Great things are happening. Good things are coming around. It is your season. Creative opportunities are happening. It is your moment. Find your will to survive. Even when you made up in your mind that you've had enough, allow me to charge you today. Connect yourself to these booster cables and let me boost your battery so you can get back in the fight, so you can get back in the race and not just get back in it, but get back in it strong. It's completely human to feel like you're depleted. It's completely human to get to the point in which you've had enough. It's okay. But I'm here to encourage you today that you will not allow yourself to stay in that place, that you'll refuse to be in that stagnated place another day. That at this very moment, you're making up your mind, you're making a conscious decision that you're going to move, that you're going to live, that you're going to be productive in spite of. It's possible. Strength is in you. Purpose is in you. Tenacity is in you. Power is in you. For greater is he that is in me than he that's of the world. The power is working in you. Now you just have to be guilty of working the power. I'll say it again. The power is already working in you. It's already churning and turning. It's already beating to get out. The power is already working in you. But now you got to be guilty of working the power. Don't stay stagnated. Don't be in a state of mind as if you're the Dead Sea. And if you found yourself being like the Dead Sea, something flowing in, but nothing's flowing out, the saltiest lake in the world, nothing outside of algae and microorganisms exists. No other life form exists. If you found yourself being in that state, there is great news for you. There's great news that even though there's no life inside of the Dead Sea, it still has great purpose. Because of its saltiness, people come from all over the world because the salt actually cures skin diseases. And people use it to cure or help arthritis. So, regardless of how bad you've been beat down, regardless of how miserable a state you felt like you've been in, there's something good in you. There's something great in you, in fact. There's life, there's people that's waiting for your story, that's waiting for your testimony. There's people that are waiting for you to unlock the key of their imaginative mind with your story of never giving up. Even when you wanted to give up, when you thought about giving up, when you threw in the towel, but the towel got thrown back at you because your life is not over. Your purpose has not been finished. The picture of the portrait has not been finished. What you are going through is just one stroke. What you're feeling is just one stroke. But that's a whole painting that's waiting to be created and to be finished. Thank you for joining in. Connect, be encouraged, be empowered. I have had enough. If that's been you, it's my prayer that you are now encouraged. You've been supercharged. That when you tune off of this show, that you're going to tune off with some inspiration, with some motivation, and some encouragement. You've just been encouraged by Ray. Thank you for tuning in with us on the Urban Health Outreach Media. This is the Finding Your Will to Survive show. I am your host, Raynaldo Alexander. You can meet with us here every Tuesday. Yes, every Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern, and 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. You've just been encouraged by Ray. Now you, yes, you, go and impact the world. Have a blessed, wonderful, and great night.